Today, we're unpacking a really fascinating story that honestly just completely flips our modern obsession with speed right on its head. We're looking at the shoemaker's thread, a fable of lasting success. It's all about an old shoemaker named Victor. Now, for over 40 years, Victor did the exact same thing. He unlocked the wooden door to his tiny shop every single morning before the sun even came up. People walked past him day in and day out, and, well, most never even bothered to look inside. Some actually laughed at him, wondering why on earth he didn't just retire already. But what they didn't know, and what we're going to explore today, is that his decades of quiet, seemingly ordinary work held a massive, life-changing secret about how true success is actually built. Okay, let's dive into this. To really understand Victor's world, you kind of have to look at the environment he was operating in. He owned literally the absolute smallest shop on the oldest street in town. The sign was fading out, his tools were ancient, and business, well, it was slowing down with every passing year. Even his own friends were telling him to just pack it in, saying, nobody repairs shoes anymore. They viewed his entire profession as totally useless. It's a classic setup, right? The whole world is moving at lightning speed, and Victor is just standing perfectly still. But his response to this dismissive attitude really sets the stage for the massive secret he was hiding.
See, Victor recognized this fundamental shift happening in society. It was this massive cultural clash between cheap replacements and deserved care. We all know our modern quick-fix mentality. If something breaks, you just toss it in the trash and buy a new one, right? It's fast, it's cheap, and honestly, it requires zero emotional investment. But Victor, he completely rejected that philosophy. He'd just smile at his friends and tell them, people may stop repairing shoes, but they'll never stop needing care. He firmly believed that absolutely every repair deserved respect and profound care, not just some quick swap.
And Victor's refusal to rush actually gave him a bit of a superpower. He had this amazing ability to see the deep, human stories hidden inside everyday objects. When you or I look at old shoes, we probably just see scuffed leather and worn-out rubber. But Victor? He saw the muddy school shoes of a super energetic kid. He saw the exhausted, completely worn-out work boots of a nurse pulling double shifts. He saw the grit and determination in a runner's damaged sneakers. And, a literal lifetime of love in an old man's leather shoes that had walked right beside his wife for decades. Because he actually took his time, he wasn't just fixing shoes. He was honoring the lives of the people wearing them, polishing every single pair to absolute perfection. But of course, in a world absolutely obsessed with speed, patience is eventually going to collide with impatience. And enter Ryan. Ryan is this young, highly ambitious entrepreneur who storms into the shop one afternoon and just drops an incredibly expensive pair of shoes right onto Victor's counter, and he demands that they be fixed that exact same day. Well, Victor carefully examines them and politely says he can have them repaired perfectly by tomorrow. And Ryan just drops this heavy quote on him. Everything takes too long here. It's such a brutal collision. Ryan is basically the living embodiment of our modern, hyper-fast, shortcut-seeking culture, standing face-to-face with a guy who just flat-out refuses to be rushed. And Victor's response here is nothing short of brilliant. Instead of getting defensive or angry, he just smiles and delivers this incredible rebuttal. So does every tree before it gives shade. I mean, wow, this beautifully illustrates the deep philosophical divide between these two. Ryan is totally obsessed with immediate results, right? He wants the shade right this second without actually planting the tree. Victor, on the flip side, understands the absolute necessity of patience and growth. Ryan actually rolls his eyes at this. He completely misses the point. But Victor, well, he isn't quite done with him yet. So the crucial point is right here. While repairing the shoes, Victor actually invites Ryan to watch him work for a second. He picks up a single thin thread. Ryan literally laughs, saying something so tiny couldn't possibly matter. So Victor hands Ryan the shoe and tells him to pull the thread. Ryan pulls and nothing moves. The shoe holds completely firm. Victor explains that sure, one thread seems weak, but thousands placed carefully together become absolutely impossible to break. And life works the exact same way. The thread, that represents your daily habits. The shoe represents your character. Thousands of small, careful habits build an unbreakable life. Unfortunately, Ryan had to learn this lesson the hard way. A few months after that encounter, his business entirely collapses. I'm talking total ruin. And why? Because he was still operating on his old philosophy. He was constantly chasing shortcuts. He ignored all the vital little details. He rushed every single decision he made. Essentially, he built his company with weak threads, and the moment real pressure was applied, the whole thing just tore apart. But here is where the story pivots. One evening, while he's clearing out his apartment in the wake of his massive failure, Ryan stumbles upon those expensive shoes that Victor had so carefully repaired. And suddenly, the old shoemaker's wisdom just echoes in his mind. Your habits are the threads. In that single moment of clarity, just staring at the meticulous craftsmanship on those shoes, Ryan finally gets it. He finally understands. He stops frantically searching for the next quick shortcut or get-rich-quick scheme, realizing that if he wants to build something strong, he really has to start with the threads. So, Ryan begins the really slow process of rebuilding, and he does it by focusing entirely on a highly practical, actionable checklist of tiny daily improvements. He didn't try to go out and conquer the world overnight. Instead, he just started reading every morning. He exercised regularly. He took the time to actually improve his skills rather than just faking it till he made it. He practiced listening more and complaining less. Just like a shoemaker pulling one stitch at a time, Ryan was laying down new threads. And slowly, day by day, these tiny improvements completely transformed his future. Fast forward 3 full years. Just think about how long 3 years of actual daily discipline really is. Ryan walks back into Victor's tiny shop on that same old street. But this time around, he isn't carrying broken shoes, and he certainly isn't rolling his eyes. He's carrying deep gratitude. He stands right before the old shoemaker and tells him that his new company is finally succeeding, and that it literally all started because of that one conversation they had over a pair of expensive shoes. And this brilliantly illustrates the true role of a mentor. Victor doesn't gloat. He just smiles gently at the successful young man and says, "I didn't change your life. You changed it. I only reminded you where to begin." Victor doesn't take the credit at all. He knows he only provided the blueprint. Ryan was the one who actually had to do the daily, painstaking work of sewing the threads of his own character. The power of habits, at the end of the day, always comes from within the individual doing the work. Now, years later, Victor's hands had definitely grown slower, but his heart hadn't changed one bit. One winter afternoon, a little boy comes into the shop looking deeply embarrassed. He's wearing these badly torn school shoes and quietly admits that his mom told him they simply couldn't afford to buy new ones. Without even missing a beat, Victor takes the shoes and quietly repairs them for absolutely free. And he treats them with the exact same level of respect he gave to Ryan's expensive shoes all those years earlier. When the little boy, just totally overwhelmed with gratitude, asks how he can possibly pay him back, Victor delivers his ultimate lesson. When you grow up, help someone who can't repay you. It's such a profound moment of kindness, showing us that Victor's threads weren't just about personal success. They were about weaving together a stronger, more compassionate community. The boy just nodded, and he never forgot that promise. Victor eventually retired, but his legacy definitely did not end there. That tiny, fading shop, it was transformed into this bustling community workshop where young people came to learn traditional craftsmanship. And right above the entrance hung this simple, powerful sentence: "Nothing truly valuable is built in a hurry." People came to that shop to learn about shoe repair, sure, but they left carrying invaluable life lessons about patience, discipline, kindness, and purpose. Victor never became rich, and he certainly never became famous. Yet his wisdom lived on, walking through the lives of every single person he had ever inspired. So, as we wrap up this explainer, let's really look at the core takeaway here. Our world constantly, relentlessly celebrates speed. We want fast food, fast internet, fast success. But as this story clearly proves, lasting success is usually built slowly. Think about what truly matters in life: a strong stitch, a growing tree, deep, unwavering trust, and a resilient character. None of these things can be rushed. Never let anyone convince you that your small daily efforts are meaningless. Because just like Victor's threads, the strongest lives are stitched together, one good habit at a time. If this story resonated with you and you want to keep reinforcing those daily threads, make sure to subscribe for more explainers just like this one. And I want you to make a commitment right now. Go down to the comments and type, "I trust the process." Cement that idea in your mind today. Because great lives, my friends, are never built overnight. They are built one careful, deliberate step at a time. So I'll leave you with this. If you were to look at the threads you are weaving today, what kind of character are you truly building for tomorrow? Thank you so much for learning with me today, and I'll see you in the next one.